It's time. Ooh, Deadpool. Will it have stiff competition at the box office this weekend? Yeah. Owned the throne last weekend, but race Jessie Owens, the story, do tell.
We shall see. This is about American track and field superstar Jessie Owens on his road to gold in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Take a look.
You want to win a gold medal?
Sure.
You want to do it in Berlin?
I heard they don't care much for color folk over there.
Well, they don't care for much here in Columbus either. Is that going to be a problem?
No, sir. I just came here to run.
All right, well, go home, get some rest. 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll see how good you really are.
We get the journey of an Olympic hero here. What does this movie do to break out the cliches of the traditional story arc when it comes to these types of stories?
Well, what it did was try to parallel the situation with the race relations and civil rights in the United States at that time, mixed with what was going on in Germany with the rise of the Nazi regime and the Aryan nation and that kind of thing. So they try to parallel them and dovetail them together nicely, but unfortunately it feels at times, Riaz, like it's two separate movies almost competing with each other. You got a good cast in this movie. Stephan James is actually a Canadian, ironically. He's playing the lead here. Jason Sudeikis, you see in the clip. Jeremy Irons, William Hurt. The film is made with good intentions, but it's got a scattershot story, as I say, and kind of ends up with a melodramatic kind of movie of the week feel. It's just a wash in cliches, and many of the sequences we've seen many times before, like the racial confrontation in the locker room. The depiction of the Nazis was almost cartoonish, you know, like you've got this really over-the-top portrayal of Hitler and Goebbels and things like that. That didn't work for me at all.
What about the idea, you mentioned the cast, Jason Sudeikis, traditional comedic actor, taking on some dramatic chops right here. What does this do for his versatility?
I'm glad you brought that up. I really enjoy Jason Sudeikis as a comedic performer, and I'm not saying he can't do drama, but I felt he was really miscast in this film. I didn't buy the chemistry between him because he essentially plays the mentor coach figure, and I just didn't see him pulling that role off, so that was disappointing. And they built all this tension needlessly about whether he was going to go to the games. We all know he did, so why waste time on that part of the story? We already know the outcome. Felt like the race part where he was actually competing was very rushed, and the scenes of him running and competing in the Olympics, they just weren't all that well executed. So this is a strictly paint-by-numbers biopic, and I think Jessie Owens deserved a better movie, frankly.
Okay, how many hammers for Race?
A disappointing 2 out of 5, unfortunately.
Okay, slow start out of the gate.
Yeah.
Let's get to the scary movie, Scare Tactics, The Witch.
A lot of buzz about this. In the 1630s, it follows a Puritan family who moves to New England, and some very creepy things start happening. Black magic, dark forces, could be the result of witchcraft. So this movie is a slow burn in tension building, creepy atmospheric visuals, and several graphic scenes that are utterly horrific. I'm not talking about jump scares. I'm talking about really disturbing, think witchcraft and that sort of root of all that imagery, really kind of playing up that psychological aspect. So that worked really well. It's gorgeously shot, and the location shooting really lends itself well to this kind of tale. And you see the period detail with the costumes and things like that. The dialogue was really of the time, and that hurt it in many parts because I found it hard to follow, where I just literally didn't understand what they were saying. So that took me out of it in some parts. So I was always hoping for it to get to this kind of point where it really broke out and became this awesome horror movie. It never quite got there, but still an effective yarn and a solid horror flick.
We like a good jump scare. How many hammers for The Witch?
3 out of 5.
Do you think either of these movies taking out Deadpool?
Race, I think, will have a good showing at the box office, but nothing's going to stop Ryan Reynolds for a while.
We will see come Monday.